digital CME on dermatology and COVID-19. Just to tell you, sir, this is a 7th CME in last 9 days. Every day evening we are having this interaction. Very unusual time this is, and we realized at the beginning of April that generally when we find all of you very busy, we are finding you
totally free
lockdown and not into your practice. We realized that in this unusual time, learnings can certainly continue. And once we started doing couple of CMEs, we realized that there is so much to share and exchange amongst the medical fraternity and dermatology fraternity as well. And then we thought that we should do this across, and that's how this is the 7th CME of the series. We intend to continue till the lockdown continues, sir. So I would, I'm Amit Ajmera. Can we go to the next slide? I'm Amit Ajmera, Vice President and Head Vertical 3. And this is our office at Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is as affected as any other city and is locked down, but being essential service, we are able to operate, and we are hosting this CME from here. I'm very, very thankful that at a very short notice, next slide please, we had leading August fraternity amongst us, Dr. Chawla from Bareilly. So thank you very much for being chairperson and moderator for the event today. I also welcome Dr. Vijay, Dr. Kalra, Dr. Sandeep Sharma, and Dr. Vibhor Kaushal to this CME. Without wasting a moment, I will straight away hand it over to Dr. Prateek. Welcome you all once again, and certainly expect a good exchange of information through this CME. Thank you very much for joining in us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ajmera, for a brief introduction. Again, I would like to welcome you all the respected doctors, and special thanks to all the experts who have joined here with us today. I would like to introduce all of our expert panelists. We have a expert panel moderator with us, senior dermatologist, Dr. V.K. Chawla, sir, from Bareilly, who is having a rich experience in the dermatology of more than 20-25 years into the clinical cosmetic dermatology.
It is more than 42 years.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So we have a young panelist with you, so we will be bringing both the aspect. We have from the hospital setup, I can introduce Dr. Kashish Kalra, sir, who is a practicing dermatologist at Max Hospital, and sir has received has a special interest in laser and hair transplant and received a Best Young Dermatologist Award in 2011. Welcome you, Dr. Kashish Kalra, on the panel discussion.
Thank you so much. Thanks
we
a lot
have again
such a lovely introduction.
Yes, Dr. Vijay Gupta, practicing dermatologist from Bareilly, who is a director at Skin City Bareilly Clinic, and has got also special interest in the lasers and hair transplant. And we also welcome you, doctor, in this panel. We have Dr. Vibhor Kaushal, sir, in our panel.
What is happening?
Discussion, who is a director at a Skin Clinic practicing at Agra, and he is also a recipient of a young dermatologist grant at second
experience
in Munich in 2012 in Munich. So he is also having a special interest in hair transplant lasers, and also he is an executive committee member with IIDVL Agra branch. We welcome you, Dr. Vibhor Kaushal, sir. We have Dr. Sandeep Sharma also from Haridwar, who is a practicing dermatologist from Haridwar, Uttarakhand. We welcome you, sir, on this panel discussion. So over to you, Dr. V.K. Chawla, sir, for the discussion. That the topic is dermatology and COVID-19, how dermatology is related or impacted with the current scenario. That is what the topic, and what dermatological aspects are going to be affected, for which we have gathered over here. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. We never thought of that with this COVID-19, our branch would be associated at all. But directly or indirectly, we are in connection with this. The main problem occurs when the dermatology is affected.
Everybody except for Dr. Chawla, please. Chawla, sir, we can't see you. Yes, sir. You can speak, sir.
Yes.
हाँ
You're
सर,
able
पीछे
to see
वाला
me?
कैमरा चल रहा था शायद. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay, okay. We never thought of this dermatology would be any time connected with COVID-19 because COVID-19 is only a medical problem. But as we are treating, as our fellow physicians are treating these patients, so whenever they are wearing all these PPEs and other things, and now they are affected. And with these PPEs and other measures which are they are taking, they are causing certain dermatological problems. What are those problems? I would like to ask from Dr. Vijay Gupta. Hello.
Yeah, we are able to see.
Yes, Dr. Vijay Gupta has to answer that what are the problems?
He is mute. Dr. Vijay Gupta is mute. We need to unmute him.
Doctor-
Nirmalya?
Yeah, you can unmute, doctor. Just go to the speaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Am I
Doctor.
audible? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Chawla sir. So, as we all know that COVID-19 is directly cannot affect our skin, but the basic thing that COVID-19 is indirectly affecting our skin uh, because of wearing of the or using the personal protective kits. Our colleagues who are dealing directly with the COVID patients nowadays, they have to wear and take a lot of precautions while dealing with those patients. So due to wearing of the personal protective kits, they have developed so many type of heterogenic secondary involvement in their skin. As we know that coronavirus directly cannot affect, it indirectly affects to the skin due to wearing of the kits for a long time of duration.
Is there any exacerbation of the pre-existing diseases?
Basically, sir, if patient having the dermatologic problems and if there is the intact skin, patient this virus is not penetrating, but if there is abrasion over the skin, if any kind of dermatitis over the skin, it can goes to the skin. Patients who are taking the immunosuppressions or dermatological patients, they are all more prone for the infection. So before this, I was telling that due to wearing of the personal protective kits, our colleagues and health workers having the problem that they may develop the pressure urticaria, they may develop some contact dermatitis, and they may develop due to wearing of the gloves for a longer duration. They causes the hyperhydration, which
Is skin is a
causes
mode of transmission to the persons who are treating dermatological problems or otherwise?
in intact. If skin is intact, there is no risk of going virus to inside our body, but abraded skin may cause, and the basic mode of the transmission is mucosal membrane. So virus is more prone and more risky if it contact with our mucous
That's the reason
membrane.
we wear mask.
Yeah, for that we have to wear the mask, and also we have to protect our eyes because the conjunctiva and the otic canal is also a risk point and also entry point for the virus. So we have not to touch our face and eyes also.
Over to Dr. Kaushal. Dr. Kaushal. Dr. Kaushal. Dr.
Hello.
Sharma, please. Hello.
I think Dr. Vibhor has got disconnected.
And Dr.
Hello.
Sharma. Yes.
Yeah, he's connected.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Kaushal.
Is there any exacerbation of the pre-existing conditions if the patient of COVID-19 has, or the doctor who is treating the patients by wearing these PPEs and mask and glasses? Dr. Sharma, please. Yes, sir.
Dr. Sharma, you can unmute, doctor.
Hello, this is Dr. Shailen from Mathura. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Can I ask a question to Dr. Vijay, please?
Yes, you can ask.
Dr. Vijay was saying that mucosal transfer is possible with COVID-19, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, is the mode of transmission possible by sexual transmission also?
Yeah, definitely. Any kind of
Definitely. Yes.
any mucosa is liable for this infection. So if it will directly in contact with the any of the mucosa or the sexual transmission, it is affect the body.
So, that is a possible mode of transmission, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Any body fluid also, if an infected patient body fluid transfer is the risk part of the transmission of the infection.
Thank you. But this mode is not highlighted yet, no?
Yeah.
This mode is
No,
not highlighted
this-
yet.
this is
I think Dr. Vijay Gupta knows it better.
Okay.
Sir,
Thank you, Dr.
nowadays this is not a part of discussion that everyone is taking the social distancing, and carriers and the suspects are used to keep in the quarantine or isolation, and everybody is
But
afraid to. Yeah,
this
everybody.
should be highlighted
Hello.
for
Hello, I
asymptomatic
am Dr.
suspects.
Rajiv.
Yeah, this should be highlighted, and awareness should be there to.
Because we have so many asymptomatic patients also, no? Suspects, carriers.
Hello, I am
That's
Dr.
why
Rajiv
that's
Ranjan.
why the
I
whole
want
family
to-
is getting
want to
the
say a point.
infection.
Is mask is sufficient to wear?
So mask is sufficient. Mask and goggles both is required to check the entry of the virus.
Hello, I am Dr. Rajiv Ranjan.
Can I add a couple of things to it? Hi,
Yes,
sir.
want
This is
to
Dr.
say a
Kashish
point.
Kalra.
Yeah.
Yeah. To what Dr. Vijay Gupta said, he covered almost all the things. But just to highlight a couple of aspects in dermatology, once we are talking about dermatology, we need to talk about a common man, what challenges he or she faces in terms of dermatology diseases uh, during this phase. The most common is a common person who is not having any dermatology diseases can develop some of the diseases. The most common is of course, irritant contact dermatitis, which
Because
can
of
over
the
a period,
frequent
if
washing.
this of the frequent washing and all, and if this lasts for longer time, it can lead to a chronic phase, and maybe in future they are more prone to allergic contact dermatitis as well. So as a dermatologist, we need to channelize this information, the use of moisturizers, and uh, not to be
Emollients, barrier
very
creams.
vigorous with hand washing. And as you asked, what diseases can be exacerbated?
Yeah.
So from we all know that the mucosa and the skin surface can transmit the virus. So if the skin surface is breached, so those patients who have psoriasis or who have dermatitis
Acne
patients, they are more prone to
or
it.
seborrheic dermatitis
And
also.
exactly, sir. And as per health personnel and the physicians are concerned, due to wearing of more mask and more PPE, definitely it can lead to more, due to mask, we can exacerbate acne, those patients who have acne that can be exacerbated, seborrheic dermatitis. And for the body also, it will lead to more dryness in the body parts. So these are very minor things which I don't think dermatology in terms of COVID-19 would be highlighted so much. But as a dermatologist, we need to, channelize this information forward.
As we are not going to our OPDs at all these days, but the administration and the national guidelines says that you have to attend the dermatological emergencies. What exactly are the dermatological emergencies?
Urticaria?
So
I think
most
it is more
common
of
is,
angioedema with respiratory distress.
yeah, and exactly, sir. And if you talk about viral infections like herpes zoster and all, or chickenpox, if somebody is complaining, so that can be
Yes.
considered. And
Type 2 reaction,
uh,
lepra type 2 reaction if patient is having some problem with this.
right, right.
Uh,
And of course, the erythroderma due to psoriasis or due to other diseases as well, or maybe some drug reactions or patients of 10 or EM. So uh,
these are the yeah,
Are blistering
pemphigus.
reactions on
these
the
are the
body
main medical
more
impact.
than 5%.
Yes, right, right.
Can I also add something
Yes.
from
Definitely,
Dr.
sure.
Shannon? It is a relative thing, in my opinion, whether we are diagnosing it or patient is suspecting something. From patient's opinion, every complaint is emergency to him, and he wants to consult doctor saying that it is emergency. But we have to decide what is emergency or not, and then there
Very
can
right,
be,
very right.
But you
if I'm
have
not
to
wrong,
weigh according to your guidelines of WHO and CDC,
right?
because dermatological emergencies are different. Every patient is an emergency to him, because if
Right.
he develops some pruritus or anything, it is an
Exactly.
emergency for the patient. But you have to
Agreed.
assess that he is really an emergency patient.
Right.
What
Agreed.
about non-specific dermatitis? If patient is complaining of that he is having severe itching, does it comes under emergency or not?
It is a cool patient. You can just put the patient on anti-allergics and ask him for investigation.
Yeah, and second thing, we can advise him telephonically that he should continue or he should take some antihistaminic.
I'm coming to this point also, because now telemedicine has been legalized by our government of India on 25th March. How safe we are and what we have to do in all these cases.
Okay, okay, okay.
Dr. Kalra, please.
So as you said that we have to weigh the patient, that if somebody is just complaining of pruritus or urticarial reactions, prescribing an antihistaminic won't have any much side effects. But when we are prescribing any immunosuppressant, we have to be sure. And nowadays the problem we are facing, patients are, suppose if we want to start azathioprine or we want to start cyclosporin, and we tell the patient to get some blood tests done. So these are not routinely done as well, and patients are also not very much keen to go to the lab and get it done. And as a dermatologist, we should not also force them to go to the lab uh, and they should not be exposed to unnecessary infections. So sometimes it becomes a challenge when you are starting any immunosuppressant on phone. So that is something which I'm refraining myself from doing it. And in very dermatitis cases, if you need to give oral steroid, I always tell my patient that you'll have to bear this itching for few times because I cannot give you an oral steroid. So sometimes we have to weigh the options like that. Like recently, I'm getting a lot of calls for hair fall and all these things. So I tell the patient that these things can wait. You can wait for a couple of months, and maybe on phone we can start a biotin supplement or something. But if we are seeing a chronic serious disease, as a doctor, it really becomes confusing sometimes that we have to give any immunosuppressant or not. The patients who are already on immunosuppressants, there also we have to judge that how much is it required, and it's better to give it on the lowest possible dose.
in my in my opinion, we should defer uh, oral immunosuppressant on telephone or
Right.
on telemedication as far as the possible, because for the patient, pruritus is emergency for some patient, and it is very simple thing for another patient. Mm, we have to see, and then we have to prescribe the immunosuppressant, but not, in my opinion, but not on telemedication. And if we have to give, it should be in the very least doses.
And what about those patients who are already on these immunosuppressant, the patient of psoriasis who is already on cyclosporin or methotrexate? So how do you deal with that situation? Like you have to taper the dose, and he cannot come to you to show you. You cannot get the blood test done. That how is the LFT and the KFT? So how you go about it?
In my opinion, if patient is improving or on the maintenance dose, we can reduce the dose and we can say the patient ki if you can get the investigations done, you should done. Otherwise, we can defer for some period if the situation doesn't get worse.
In the current scenario of COVID-19, I think we should avoid immunosuppressants also. We should have a tendency to avoid immunosuppressants.
If patient is already on in immunosuppressant, then we should
Yes,
reduce the
yes,
dose. And
agreed.
if we cannot reduce the dose, we should defer the immunosuppressant for the some time.
Because it's a question of herd immunity also. We need to keep the immunity raised in our patients also.
Yes.
Sir, I'm Dr. Kalpana and I have a question. We're discussing about the emergencies in dermatology. So pregnancy-induced pruritus in third trimester is kind of an emergency for patients who are actually dealing with lots of pruritus. So how are we going to deal with that? Because without assessing a patient, it's going to be difficult what to give and how to counsel a patient because they are very much in anxiety. Because of obviously the COVID situation, plus the third phase of pregnancy, plus excessive pruritus, which is disturbing their sleep and all. So in those patients, I believe meeting personally is something which gives them that kind of solace. But on telephone, explaining things to them and managing it, how are we going to go for that?
Hello.
Yes.
Dr. Kalpana, when obstetrician is ready to do the delivery, why are you are not ready to see the case and give her advice?
Sir, we are talking about social distancing and not going to clinic and not opening clinics.
It is all
and
right,
meeting.
but if required, we should attend the case. They are also doctor. We are also doctor. If required,
Okay,
if you cannot handle,
if
you cannot handle on phone, go. If required, you should attend. We should avoid, but if required, we should go.
Ma'am, in my opinion, you talk to patient, you counsel the patient on telephone, give the medication. If she doesn't get improved, you can call and consult her.
With due protections?
With due protections. You
Got it.
give the telemedication for few days. If she doesn't get improved, you can call and talk to her.
Okay.
Also for Dr. Kalpana, for your reference, Dr. Pratik here from medical side, there is a FOXY guidance regarding pregnancy, which I can share with you if you just drop in your mail ID. So that will also throw more light. What are the guidance which is circulated from the national body? Thank you so much.
Sir,
Please drop in your
I'll be
mail.
just dropping my mail ID in chat.
Sure. Thank you.
This is Dr. Ayush from Bareilly. Hello.
Yes, Dr. Chawla, sir. Hello.
Hello. Due to wearing of the mask, you must be observing exacerbation of the tinea faciae, which we were seeing earlier, very much increased nowadays. What is the opinion of the panelists regarding it?
Hello. In my opinion, it can be because due to the facial mask, it can trap the moisture. It can trap the sweat because the summers has already come. It can worsen the tinea faciae.
Already we were facing difficulty in handling tinea faciae, and in the present scenario where we have to wear mask for longer duration, it will aggravate the situation, I think so. What can be done for that?
So every coin has two faces, I believe, and I just
We can
highlighted
suggest
that.
patient for the plain cloth mask despite of
As I told, there are some diseases which can be exacerbated due to the mask and due to the moisture. So tinea fasciae is one of them. Second is patient who have acne, it can be increased. So every coin has two faces. You have to bear with it, and if you have to treat the patient as you treat a normal patient of tinea fasciae. There's no big deal in that, I suppose. Just because of tinea fasciae, you cannot tell the patient to not to wear the mask.
Yes, I also support this thing. Mask is very important at this time. You cannot put away mask just because tinea is aggravating. You put on your antifungals, good
we
antifungals.
can
That's it.
suggest we can suggest the cotton cloth mask, and
No.
it can be washed daily.
And we should give strict directions that it should not be shared with anyone. Because
Mask is always a personal
Anyway,
thing.
the mask is never to be shared with anyone. It has to be.
but people sometimes share, and if they are not COVID positive, sharing will not harm. But if they are tinea fasciae positive, then it will do much more harm.
Sharing will
I
always
think
harm if it
nobody
is
is
a
going
mask.
to. As far as I can say, the mask should not be shared by anyone.
Yeah.
If they are close contact also, or close relative or close family members too.
Dr. Kalra, Dr. Chawla sir is joining in a while. Maybe you can take it ahead
I
accordingly.
just wanted to have a couple of things to know that right now I've shut down my clinic, and the reason is very clear that we don't want our patients and our staff to get exposed to it. So in case, I don't know for how long this will last, in case if we plan to open the clinic, so what are the steps which you will take? It's a very important part of this discussion in a dermatology clinic. What are the steps which you will take? I want to know from the panelists what is in their mind so that I don't miss anything. So maybe Dr. Vibhor or Dr. Sandeep, anybody can take this question.
If you have
Dr.
to
Vibhor,
call your staff, please call minimum staff as less as possible, either one or two. Do proper gloves wearing, facial mask, head caps, etc. Prepare hypo solutions. Spray hypo solution at doorknobs, at your stairs, for not to spread COVID. And please put some drops of disinfectant or sanitizer on your patient if you really want to see them, and put proper social distancing to consult them.
Good
that is
points.
what I think we were following since I did my last OPD till 23rd March in my clinic. That I'm consulting online only. So these were the main steps which we were following in the clinic. And one more thing to add to it, whosoever walks into your clinic, so we bought that infrared thermometer, which I actually saw for the first time in my life. And we used to just from a
Is it
distance.
really helpful?
We
Thermoscan
used
is really
to
helpful?
just, no, not in the asymptomatic phase, but still to be sure, we just used to take the temperature of each patient, and we used to call each patient one by one. So it is very important that when you give the appointments, you don't like most in the waiting area. So it's better you give one appointment in one slot, see less number of patients, and the best anywhere. So when they come, just when they are standing, they reach your chamber, and it's better to avoid to make them sit on a chair or something. So maybe a brief history, and you just can prescribe them through online consultation on the. Don't use a piece of paper also if possible. And as the exchange of currency for the fees and everything, you can take online. You prefer online, maybe.
But
Paytm
all
or
patients are
something.
not like that. They will not be able to pay you online.
If required,
Yes.
if required, you can have a
Hello,
separate
Ayush.
box. You can have a separate box and tell the patient to give the change currency, and they can put in the box, and you open that box after a couple of days, not on the same day. So
Dr. Kalra, these are all write-ups. This is not practical at all. Because you
Sir,
see in papers and you see read in magazines and
we can
see in
handle
television.
currency by wearing gloves. That point can be taken by wearing gloves while handling
Yes.
the currency.
And no patient should be consulted without facial mask at all.
Yeah. But mostly we have to uncover the mask while examining the
But
patient.
how would you confront your patient? Like suppose you're sitting in your chamber and the patient walks in your chamber and then talks to you, and would you not like to see the earlier prescription, the earlier treatment he has taken so far?
Sir, that I just wanted to add that
Sir,
we
at
should
the
not
reception-
use the earlier prescription. We should always give a new prescription to the patient, and we should just see it from the far.
But you would like to see the prescription and how much it should be. It should be 3 feet away or 5 feet away, and from that distance you'll be able to read that prescription, or somebody else will read for you.
No, sir, we should
if you
handle
want to
our
see the
own
patient,
prescription.
you have to take in your hands, and you can avoid that by wearing the double layered gloves.
And can I add something?
Yes.
Skin is a game of inspection, isn't it? How can
Yes.
we give a good inspection with the social distancing?
That's very true. That's what I'm asking. Because until
Sir, I've
unless
seen
you
a
see a
innovative
patient
idea
closely,
on
how can
internet.
you make your diagnosis?
At this time, in my opinion, going to opening clinic is not safe. Rather, online treatment and getting pictures from the patients with some zoom is more convenient and better way to treat
Sir, one
patients.
thing I would add, I'd like to add here, it is not today. It is for say tomorrow. There is no lockdown, and you open your clinic. How would you manage that? It means that Corona has not gone. It is the lockdown has gone.
Perfect.
So
Very
I've seen
rightly said.
one innovative idea on internet. The transparent shower curtains, they hang the transparent shower curtains in between the physician and the patient so that they can clearly see the patient. But they're not going to the patient, or there's not going to be a fomi transfusion from patient to doctor.
Ma'am,
How would
when
you
we examine
talk
the
to
patient, we
patient?
can
How
say
would you
patient
examine
not
the
to
patient?
speak.
Sorry, sir?
If
Then
we
how
examine
would
the
he
patient,
narrate
we
the
can say
complaints?
patient not to speak.
Then how
No,
would he
No,
narrate the
patient
complaints?
can speak. The
What I-
curtain is going to have a height which is going to be around 6 feet or so, and on the top of that it's going to be open, so patient can speak, we can hear, but there's not going to be a clear direct contact from patient to patient to physician. There's not going to be a direct contact.
Sir,
I've seen it on internet and I found it really
Or
good.
first
we
and
can wear
foremost,
the glass shields also.
How many
Yes,
patients you can see like this?
even sir, even
No,
after the lockdown,
The Corona is not going to go.
with due regards to Dr. Chawla, if you're seeing 100 patients a day, so if you're seeing 100 patients a day in a normal OPD, as I've heard about you, you see that and you inspire us. But sir, to be frank with you, even after the lockdown, you cannot see 100 patients a day. You will have to see 20 to 30 patients a day only. Most of the patients you have to consult online only. Those patients who require to have a physical.
But online consultation has its own fallacies.
Sir, but we have to find a way out. So what we are talking about is, if
That's the
Dr.
reason we are
Kalpana
meeting
said
here
that if
and
there is a
talking.
patient who is pregnant in 3rd trimester and she's insisting that she needs to see you, so patients like those only we can call to the clinic and we'll have to examine. So the glass curtain is a very good, not a glass curtain, a plastic transparent curtain is a very good way to see the patient, to examine the patient closely.
It means those curtains are disposable. Every time you have to change the curtain.
We can always clean them with the spirit disinfectant. We can always clean them with the disinfectant. No?
But the virus remains
There-
on the plastic for more than 72 hours.
We can spray hypo solution on that. Polythene
That will spoil the transparency of the curtain.
You're right,
And-
you are right.
And who will clean the curtain again and again? That is very impractical for dermatologists.
Yeah, that is not practical, sir.
There
Two or
could be
three patients
differences.
will.
Yes, there could be
Sir.
differences of opinion,
Yes.
but one option is there of using the curtains, and If possible, we could use it in future. We can keep it as an option.
Then what is the consensus? What is the consensus and what is the take
We,
home message?
we can use the glass shields for the personal use. That is more practical.
Right.
Personal glass shield we can use.
Right. Okay. And how about the IADBL guidelines?
Dr. Vibhor?
Dr. Vibhor is here?
Oh, I don't think he's here.
Yes, Dr. Vibhor.
Dr. Vibhoran not online.
Okay. Dr. Vijay Gupta?
Vijay Gupta online, sir.
Vijay sir, you have to unmute and then speak. Your phone is on mute.
Yeah, as far as my knowledge, IDVL have not given any guidelines during this COVID-19.
It is there.
I have not read that.
No, guideline is there. Guideline is there.
Okay.
There is a clear-cut IADVL guideline. You can ask some other panelist.
Dr. Kalra, please. Dr. Sharma, please.
I don't have any idea about the IADVL guidelines about the hydroxychloroquine uses in COVID-19.
So I think it's the same.
More or less the same guidelines.
Same.
No, HCQS
Because these are the WHO
given by
guidelines.
ICMR.
I think that
That is
IADVL
ICMR guideline regarding
should be
HCQS profile.
That Dr. Kalra has already told.
But this is IADVL guideline is different.
Yes.
IADVL guideline is regarding what a dermatologist should do or should not do. Whether he should see the important cases, essential cases, emergency cases, how to avoid non-essential cases, diseases with lesser ailments, the dermatology.
It is like following the national guidelines.
Yes. IATVL has given a clear-cut guideline regarding this.
Social distancing and otherwise.
Yes.
But decision of taking the dermatological emergencies and non-dermatological emergencies is a very not a very clear-cut line, because all patients who are coming to you for dermatological treatment, they feel they are emergency patients. But we have to decide that what dermatological emergencies are.
They have been defined. They have been defined by the guidelines. Though what the patient is seeing as an emergency is not important, but what are the guidelines are saying, that is more important.
It means you can say no to your patient that you don't come, and you come after some time after this lockdown is over or the corona is over.
Yes. MCI has also issued a guideline regarding this, and they have clear-cut said that a doctor or a patient can refuse this consultation at any point of time. So it is up to the both party.
But you are always at a risk if you refuse your patients that you are not going to see him because you are not an emergency case.
No, you can send him.
Or all emergencies which you feel like is a emergency would be sent to a nearby hospital, which is taking care of these dermatological emergency cases.
I think there is no dermatologist in hospitals, so they will call some dermatologist for the reference. So dermatologists have to attend that case if you are asking patient to get admit somewhere in the multi-specialty hospital. So again, there is a question to attend a dermatologist.
Whenever you are demanded, you have to go. You have to go with proper protection, the gloves, the PPE kit. You have to go there if it is an emergency.
What this PPE kit is made of? It is made of cloth or some plastic material?
Plastic
no,
material.
It is a three-layered thing, and the upper layer, the outermost layer is a different thing than the matter in between, and then supported on the inner layer. So finally, it becomes non-absorbent, non-porous, and the size of that is so big that smallest even particle cannot pass through it. That is the 0.3 micron size or lesser. Therefore, it protects us. So
These
it's
clothing cause a
completely
reaction, or the wearing
non-porous
for a
and
long time causes
non-absorbent.
reaction?
Occlusion is the main concern for
Yeah,
this.
hyperhydration effect.
Hyperhydration is the cause that for long duration there is
Friction,
hyperhydration and
pressure, all these factors come into play.
yeah. Then one thing I would like to ask that for how long duration we have to defer our patients who are taking the laser treatments for acne, for scars, for this hair reduction.
Because we have been told that you have to see only emergency cases, and the laser and
In my
aesthetic work is not
opinion,
emergency.
After
Aesthetic and other services are not emergency. These are all
Elective
elective
procedure has
measures.
to be avoided.
Till how long, sir? Till how long?
Till the position
patients
subsides.
should be counseled, then we can do after the corona session over. In my opinion, we should not do any kind of laser during this period.
During this period and after the over of this lockdown period,
Yes.
and also we have to not handle such patients, any patient for cosmetic procedures till then
Until the corona session has
until
been
the
over.
case of the corona is zero all over our region or all over India.
Because 50% of the asymptomatic patients are carrier.
Actually, we don't know what is the number of actual patients, carrier patients in our country, because we have less number of tests are available due to insufficient testing centers, and patients are not able to get tested themselves. So the number of cases which is reflecting is actually the tip of the iceberg. Any comment over this?
Yes, this is
You are right. You are right. You are right. Because all the persons which they should be tested for corona, which we are not doing it, like in America and other places.
Yeah.
That's the reason you are seeing less number of patients here, more of lockdown and less number of patients.
Exactly, sir.
My question is, hello.
Anji.
My question is, if lockdown is over after 14th, should we wear PPE kits? Then only we should examine dermatology cases, or the physicians should wear PPE kits and we can use only mask and headgear.
No, sir. Every patient is
any physician has to wear. We are also physicians, sir. We are also doctors. We are also physicians. Any physician has to wear PPE kit in the clinic.
So
if
it
he or
means
she is examining.
about 2 to 3 kits we will be requiring in a day.
So you'll have to limit your OPD timings. You can not have a full-fledged OPD from morning 9 till 9 o'clock in the evening. You'll have to keep some hours.
How can we limit the OPD timings when we are not attending OPDs for last 21 days? Timings will be going to increase.
Sir, it is going to be a double-edged sword. You open your doors of your clinic to every patient. It is going to be a double-edged sword. Your patients will expose each other. Your staff will get exposed. So that is why we are talking. If you are seeing 100 patients a day, you'll have to limit it
not to limit our OPD hours. We have to extend our OPD hours, and we have to limit the number of appointments.
Dr. Kalra, this COVID is not going to go for about 2 to 3 months, as I feel. So can we?
I feel it will be more longer. I feel it will be more longer. So that is why we should be expert in telemedicine right now. And this is the time to harness this skill and try to educate the patient. Whosoever requires utmost importance in the clinic, who wants to see in the clinic, he or she should only be called. Most of the patients, even after the lockdown is over, you'll have to consult, even if your clinic is open. You'll have to consult online only. That is what I believe. And that is what I'm planning to do.
Online, how can you be convincing to your patient that this is required?
Follow-up patients are pretty convinced. The patients
no, it is not the follow-up matter.
The new
it is
patients,
a matter of a new patients also.
That is what I'm saying. If I see 30-40 patients a day, and if I see 15 patients who are new and 15 who are old, So let the follow-up be on phone, and the new patients can be. Of course, sir, if you talk about from the business point of view of a dermatologist, you can't be taking the same amount of fee which you are taking online and in the clinic. So that things have to be, and of course, I believe that the overall cost, if you talk about of carrying out these precautions and seeing the patients, it will be on our shoulders. So how we are going to manage it, we don't know still.
It means on telemedicine you will be charging less than what you are charging in your clinic.
Yes, sir.
No, how it is possible? Then every patient would like to be on telemedicine.
That is what I want. That is what I'm trying to explain you. It's better if you consult the patient on telemedicine, because it is going to be helpful for you also, for your staff also, and for the patients also.
In that case, do you need a staff? In that case, do you
Sorry,
need a
sir?
staff? In
No,
that
no,
case,
sir.
do you need a staff?
If I'm opening my clinic, and if I want to call only 10 to 12 patients in the clinic itself, so I won't be needing that number of staff also. Like I'm into lasers, I'm into cosmetic procedures, so I won't be needing the laser staff and all. I'll just be needing a receptionist, a cleaning person, and myself in the clinic. So I think
But
that
laser
for
and
next,
aesthetic would be withheld for some time.
yeah, I'm saying, sir, I won't be calling my laser technician now,
Yes.
because I know it's not. In 2020, I don't expect to do any lasers, to be frank with you. Forget about 2 to 3 months. I think it's going to last for more than 6 months. So for 2 to 3 months, of course, if you're...
याची दो position या तशी आपली position
I think somebody has connected wrong.
Ashish, can you
So,
please mute?
yeah, sir. What I wanted to say was that only that
Yes, sir, muted all.
the future for next maybe 2 to 3 months or 6 months, will have to find a way as dermatologists. And if I talk about aesthetic practice, that will be zero for sure. We cannot do any procedure. We should not take chances of even doing a simple chemical peel. Forget about lasers and all those stuff.
In PEER also, you'll be touching the patient's face.
Yeah,
So he's saying we should avoid peel.
Taking the chances of doing the... Yeah, we'll have to avoid it. Of course, that is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But Dr. Kalra, our medical store staff will be exposed equivalently, and they will probably not be wearing PPE. And most of us run medical store also.
You're right, sir. You're right.
They will be fully exposed. So this telemedicine again will be taking 2 or 3 times more time than the regular OPD patients. And we are charging less. Isn't
Sir,
it
how
correct?
do you manage? I'm sure when you're in your regular OPD, at one time there are 10 patients waiting outside. So how can you have a social distancing of 1 meter for 10 patients? I don't have that big clinic in Delhi.
Once lockdown is over and COVID is not over, I am talking about that scenario. Physicians will be examining wearing full PPE.
You will have to keep this.
Okay, it is very difficult question to be answered.
Yeah,
I think it is the only time will tell everything.
Exactly.
And I think more of telemedicine, more of legal complications.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Because
In my
telemedicine is not a very
opinion,
simple thing.
Yeah.
If the lockdown is all should be in the sequential manner, so that the bulk of the patient will not come to your clinic at next day after the lockdown over. It will be always sequential. There's outside periphery, no patient will be able to come here. Only the district connectivity won't be allowed. So it will not cause a big problem after the lockdown, in my opinion.
It is not the lockdown which
not
matters.
The question
it is the
of
corona
only lockdown.
matters.
It's the question of practicing post-corona era.
Yes. It is not the lockdown. It is the corona matters.
Post-corona era, how you are managing this practice?
You have to take all the precautions as the now you taking.
Because those precautions are very costly precautions.
No, we will charge the patient. We are charging OPD fees for that only. Probably we will be needing 2 or 3 kits a day, PPE kits.
Exactly.
More
it will
than
be
that.
hardly
At least 2 or 3 kits.
5,000, or if you increase the fees by 100 rupees for PPE, then it will be covered.
It
And
is very difficult to wear a full PPE kit after 3-4 hours.
sir,
3-4 hours
all the physicians
gets
are
so
going
much
to
uncomfortable.
if you want to practice, you will have to wear. This is the bitter truth. Either you don't practice, or if you practice, you will have to wear this PPE kit after lockdown, because corona is not going to go for 2 to 6 months.
Yes,
Who has
bitter
corona,
truth
who
is
does not
this.
have corona, you don't know.
If you want to practice, you should arrange PPE. Otherwise, telemedicine is not good. Patient came to me that I am having itching over limbs, and ultimately I visited them, and it was a simple scabies patient. How can one expose herself or himself on mobile?
And there are different diseases,
The
psychosexual
simplest
diseases.
disease of dermatology
How
is
they will
scabies,
manage.
and we cannot diagnose on mobile until unless we personally attend a patient of scabies.
You have to examine the patient fully, otherwise you will not be able to diagnose at all.
In females, it is very difficult to examine on mobile also.
In that case, they always bring their photos in mobile, and sometimes they ask you to just see the mobile and
Sir,
just write
scabies
the diagnosis.
is not a disease of photo. We have
That
to.
is true, but most of the time they bring the photographs themselves. They are coming themselves and bringing the
Sir,
photographs.
Tinea can mostly be diagnosed on mobile or photographs, but scabies and other diseases need direct visualization. And I think if we want to practice in this era, we should arrange PPE, or we should avoid all these things. Telemedicine is not good. It is going to harm our name and fame, because we will be erring more if on mobile. Wrong diagnosis on mobile.
Yes, I completely agree.
I
sir.
think time will only tell, and it's very hard to say.
Sir, time will not going to tell. We have to tell ourselves that arrange PPE or quit dermatology.
No, it's not quitting
Regarding
dermatology, it is
PPE
quitting
also,
every
there is a
medical
limitation.
science.
It's not
Every practice, every kind of
It-
practice.
Every kind of
Every
practice,
kind of
because all doctors
practitioner-
are the same.
Yeah. Gynecologists are doing deliveries, and
right now
physicians.
And ENT patients.
All patients, even dental doctors, they
Dental,
ask the
yeah.
patient to open their mouth. They are more prone for all these infections.
Oral lichen planus.
Oral lichen planus, yes.
Sir, one more thing I wanted to ask opinion about, as what I'm doing when I'm doing telemedicine, I have formatted one protocol kind of a thing, or one paragraph kind of a thing I have written, and I'm sending it to all the patients that this is telemedicine, and I'm not assuring that I'm giving 100% diagnosis, because I'm examining or seeing you or diagnosing you on the basis of your photographs. So because of the situations, current situations, I am doing this, but I'm assuring you that I'm being 100% sure from my side, but still this is not 100% accurate way of treating a patient. So as per the government guidelines, I'm doing it. So is there some kind of I will say consent form should be formed, and that should be sent to every patient?
Do you think
Which
that the
I'm doing
patient would sign all this once he says that once you are not 100% sure, then why should you write the treatment?
Legal complications are there. Lots and lots of legal complications are going to be there in this situation when
So we
are going
can
to
do one
practice
thing.
telemedicine.
We can send these lines, these consent forms to the patient after receiving the pic of the patient, so that
Sir, exactly that's what I'm doing. Once I'm receiving Paytm, then only I'm sending this.
we have something to say. We have something to save ourselves, that we have sent this thing, and patient has sent the photograph to us. After seeing the photographs, what we have diagnosed accordingly, we have sent the condition situations. And
Dr. Vijay, what is the proof that the signature of the patient is correct?
Not signature is not required on that.
The signature, the
Signature
message
just-
which is
just
received by the patient, that is it.
Patient
Message
is
seen and
as much
received by the
as
patient. That is it.
Madam, please share this message with every doctor on WhatsApp.
Sir, I'll just post it in the chat section. I'll just do that.
Okay,
So I
thank you
think
very much.
I think how to do telemedicine, we are not still aware about it, and I think KEDLA can take this step forward for a next Zoom discussion on telemedicine, that how it should be done and if we are doing it. So it's a different subject altogether, and I really like the innovative way of Dr. Kalpana by sending this consent. If they even write on WhatsApp, yes, doctor, I do accept it, and carry forward, I am going to share the photographs. I think that is enough. You don't need a signature for that. In court of law, even a WhatsApp message will be helpful. So, and sir, being a dermatologist, I think we are not very much, if we are not into procedures, we cannot do a procedure on phone. So we won't be exposed to so many medical legal things as we are, as our other specialties would face. So I think this discussion needs to go forward. Anything else?
One more question I would like to ask, that after this lockdown time, if you are attending any emergency patient during this lockdown time, how to sanitize our clinics? What steps should we take before and after opening the clinic? How to decontaminate?
As you said, hypochlorite is a very important step.
We have to individually buy some equipment to spray all over the surfaces of the clinic or equipment.
Yes, you have to buy a sprayer. You have to buy a sprayer, and every morning before you reach your clinic should be sanitized, and all your doors and handles should be sanitized. Your chamber doors should be open. If you have a window in your clinic, it should be open. There should be cross ventilation. If you do not have any exhaust fan, you should have an exhaust fan. And I think there should be a air curtain also in your chamber, so that if nothing should enter your chamber at all. How much this air curtain is useful in our clinics, I would like to know from the panelist.
Okay.
And the government is developing some certain spray tunnels. What is the cost of those spray tunnels, and how far they are successful? Will be able to afford that or not?
Sir, I have shared that consent paragraph onto the chat section.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Kalpana.
Yeah, Dr. Kalpana, we got it. Thank you.
And also, doctors, the recent telemedicine guidance which was issued by Ministry of Health, which again I am not going into want to go, drag into the detail, but what I can remember, that has come after 12 to 13 years, because I remember first grant which was given for telemedicine was to ISRO, that is way back in 2008 for MD and stroke. So that could not happen. Now thanks to Corona, at least this guidance could have come, but again there could be a drawback. So again that will be worked upon going forward. However, but yes, in the current scenario, in the best practice way to safeguard ourselves, whatever legal obligation can happen, from that, avoiding that part, whatever experts have suggested, that should be there. I will be sharing that guidance as well. That they've given everything, like what could be the pros and cons of audio consultation, video consultation, and things like that. So there is a clear-cut guidance, but again, it could be reworked. And that has come on 25th or 26th of March itself.
25th of March. You plus arrange the meeting for telemedicine, please.
There are telemedicine guidelines. There have been, they have published, and MCI has been superseded for those guidelines. I also have the guidelines. I can share with whoever who is interested.
Please share.
Ji, sir. I'm in Delhi. I'm practicing in Delhi Rajouri Garden.
Okay.
So I can share. I have been practicing telemedicine for the last 1.5 years now.
And you don't have any problem?
No, sir. There are a lot of problems actually.
Problems in
I've been doing on
this?
Practo, and I've done on Practo, I've done on Librate. So there are a lot of issues. People are not satisfied. Then they have to come. Then I call them for clinic.
Can you share the issues?
People are not. Most of the time, people are not satisfied.
They are not satisfied.
So they are not satisfied.
Exactly.
So what
Counseling is the problem.
I do generally is I broadly classify into a diagnosis, a tentative diagnosis. I always say I'm giving you a tentative diagnosis and a treatment. If you
But
don't,
sir, who would like to take treatment on tentative diagnosis?
but sir, the net savvy people, they are taking it. I don't know now about Corona. I've been doing for last 1.5 years now, and people do pay, and people, especially the young population, was taking it actually also. So the
population in Gurgaon and Bangalore and Pune.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can, sir. There are a few diagnoses which you can treat very easily, like acne, rosacea, and all those things. And then, if I find that if the person is not treatable, or I don't have much clues, I simply refuse them and tell them to come to the clinic. That is how I was doing. And the payment
Okay,
is
sir.
non-refundable by Practo or Librate. They don't refund the payment, and it is valid for 7 days. The patient is allowed to follow up any number of times during that 7 days, only by text message. First, and I found it is better because there were concerns which other panelists were also talking about. How do you know the signature is valid or not? So I personally feel video call is the best to determine if you're talking to the patient, because that will actually make you sure that whom you are treating. Somebody else also might ask you, "Meri mother ko aise hai, mere father ko aise hai," and you don't know. The mother or father is here in Delhi or somewhere else. They are there. So video call is the best measure to find out whom you are. At least have 1 minute of video call with the patient and see the age of the patient. You'll get to know the height, the weight, the approximate things, and sometimes the people also shoot videos and send. Then we cannot make out which date the video has been shot. So video call is best. 1 minute of video call at least should be given to each and every patient before you go ahead, because that will ensure you that you are seeing the patient yourself and you are treating the right person, and then you can. It will help you in guiding also about the age, everything, all those demographic parameters. So that helps.
Just now I've come to know the cost of PPE is 1,500 rupees.
Haan, sir. Depends on the quality. The range is starting from 700 to 2,000. Plus GST also they are charging.
Yes. And they don't have in ready stock. They will supply later.
They will supply later, and they don't come for 2 or 3 pieces. They come for minimum 100 pieces.
Right.
Especially the one I have asked for my hospital. So they told that we will minimum give a order of 250 pieces for a nursing home or a hospital. So what I was planning, then once my hospital, they order, then I will go and take 1 or 2 from them. And as one sir was telling that you have to change 2 or 3 in a day. Yes, you can wear a PPE more than 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, because you start sweating a lot. Even in AC, you will start sweating. So you will have to restrict your OPD timings to at least 4 or 5 hours. And at least, yes, 2 kits will be needed, 1 for you and 1 for your staff. Rest, whoever is on the front line, you have to give PPE kits for them. And suppose you don't have a staff which is assisting you at the reception, they can just do with an N95 mask and a headband, because now they've seen that corona stays on the hairs for at least 2 to 3 weeks if you have not shampooed your hair. So,
but say 30 minutes bath with hot water just takes away the corona.
Yeah, correct, sir. Correct, sir. That is true. That is true. So telemedicine, sir, both pros and cons are there, but yes, you will have to judge because many times if you're not able to make the diagnosis, better to refuse, because these are also the kind of people who are very emotionally kind of liable and very fast on the internet, and they're very fast on the social media also. So before you get to know, you will be back-mouthed by at least 10 people already.
That you have not diagnosed it properly.
You have not diagnosed, and I was not satisfied with this doctor. And then that star rating which they have given me, I have faced that. They have not given me good ratings also. But still the practical people told, because yes, we know that you're a good doctor, and then they saw my clinic and they saw, okay, a lot of patients come in like that, and then so they continued. So it's better that if you feel that you cannot diagnose, better to refuse. And yes, many times you will be able to diagnose a lot of petty, small chronic eczemas, small patches of psoriasis, seborrheic dermatitis, acne rosacea, all those things. If you
they are easily diagnosable.
They are easily diagnosable. So it is easy to do in certain conditions, and it's very difficult. So for those, I think we can call them. Let's say we can hold clinics thrice a week or maybe 4 times a week, and then with using PPE kits, we can do our clinics. I think that is one option.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dr. Pratik, we have to wind it off.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, if no topic is left, or Doctor, I am Lakshmi Narayan.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Kedela team.
Yeah, doctor.
Inviting us, chairing us, and thanks panelists and the participants. Very,
Yeah,
very,
once again,
very interactive session. Very interactive session. Not like we had been only interested in doing our practice after lockdown.
really honored, really honored with your kind words.
Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Once again, good afternoon to everyone, doctors, for accepting our invitation and coming and joining in this web-based CME, Dermatology COVID-19. Special vote of thanks, Dr. V.K. Chawla, for chairing the person moderating the entire session. And I thank you, Dr. Vijay Gupta, Dr. Sandeep, for sharing their knowledge and experience to all the medical fraternity, and excellent views have been shared. And I also thank you, doctors, those who have participated in this web program. I wish I would like to continue with this kind of doctors to join once again when we conduct this kind of a program. And this program has been initiated by our leaders, Mr. Amit Ajmera, Vice President, just before initiating the program has spoken to you all. And our President, Mr. O.P. Singh, and a great help and motivation for us to conduct this program. And I also thank you, Dr. Pratik, who has coordinated all with the medical fraternity for making this program success. I also thank you, my colleagues, Mr. Deepak Pataskar and Marketing Manager, his colleagues, Mr. Ashish and Mr. Nirmalya, for making and coordinating this web program. And a great help and coordination by my colleague, Mr. D.P. Singh, and his team members, Mr. Sushil, as their excellent efforts to gathering all the doctors and communicating. So made this program a success. And I request my colleague, Mr. D.P. Devendra Pratap Singh, would like to say some words. Yeah, Devendra.
Yeah, good afternoon to all participants, and thank you, Dr. V.K. Chawla, sir, and Sandeep boss, and Kalra sir, Vijay Gupta boss, and Vivor Kausal sir. And also thank you, Dr. S.P. Singh from Mathura, Ayush Agrawal sir, Kalpana madam, and Dr. Sunil Sablani sir. Thank you very good for participation. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you
Okay,
once
bye.
again to all the doctors. And we
Bye
will
bye.
continue again. Thank you. Thank you. Pratik,
Thank
would
you
you
so
like
much.
to say some more words?
Yeah, so on behalf of Kedila or all the doctors, all the panelists, thank you for your contribution, and keep us guiding for going ahead in all the scientific initiative. Looking forward to learn from everyone. Thank you so much. Take care.
Kashish boss. Sunil
I think
boss. Sunil sir.
so. Dr. Vijay Gupta sir is there.
नहीं सुनील सबलानी बॉस से बात कर रहा था बॉस टेली इसके ऊपर रख सकते हैं ना क्योंकि अपनी मेट्रो सिटी में तो मैनी डॉक्टर्स प्रैक्टिसिंग ऑनलाइन तो अपन ऐसा एक टॉपिक रख सकते हैं सर टेली मार्केटिंग वो टेली पेशेंट ओपीडी के लिए
टेली ट्रीटमेंट
यस टेली ट्रीटमेंट
सर मैंने देखा है कि दिल्ली के अंदर तो मैं नहीं जो भी मेट्रो सिटी है उसमें तो ऑनलाइन होता ही है इवन तो फॉरेन कंट्री का पेशेंट भी ऑनलाइन दिखाता है जो मैंने देखा
नहीं we can plan something out and especially you can plan everything and when you call us we can join and we can give our opinions and better to call one medical legal person also.
Yes.
So medical legal person रहेंगे ना तो he can actually guide us all better actually.
Yes.
Because this is a new field. This is emerging for everybody. That is a very new thing which is coming.
Yeah, that would be pros and
Thank
cons.
you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you all, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chawla.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.